All right, I'm back. Welcome to Calc with Cola. So this morning we're going to go over the AB number 2 free response question. Let's see if you got any points. Out of the 6 questions, I did think this was the most fair. I wouldn't say easiest because none of this is easy, but most fair question. Okay, so they give us the velocity function here, which you should immediately type into your calculator, and I did. And they say, this is interesting how they phrase it. They say there's one time t sub r only in the interval 0 to 2 when the particle is at rest. Find t sub r, find if the particle is moving to the right or left, give reason for your answer. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, you should have written down that when velocity is equal to 0 is when we're going to find when we are not moving. So we're going to go over here. We're going to, I got to reset my window. Zoom 6, and now let's change it from 0 to 2. And this is where we change direction and where we stop moving. So let's find that spot. Second trace, number 2. We're going to find the 0. Let's get pretty close. Other side. And I got 1.426. Okay? So t equals t sub r equals 1.426. Now they say from 0 up until that decimal, are we moving right or left? So if you go to your calculator, we are moving right because velocity is positive. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say right because velocity is positive. Okay, great. Letter B. That was probably 2 points right there. So letter B, find the acceleration of the particle at time 1.5. Show the setup for your calculations. I'll show you what they mean for that. And they say, is the speed increasing or decreasing at time 1.5? I predicted that this was going to be on there for sure. So if they want the acceleration at 1.5, you needed to show that the acceleration at 1.5 is equal to the derivative of velocity at 1.5, usually to be eligible for the points. Then we're just going to type this in our calculator. And I really emphasize that in class, so hopefully all my students did that. So now we're going to go to Math 8. And I'm going to derive I have algebra stuff up there. Math 8, let's derive what I just put in Y1 at 1.5. So you're going to round, I rounded it to -1 on my answer key. You could have left it at -0.999 repeating. So I'm going to write -1, okay? But now if they want to know if the speed's increasing or decreasing, you have to compare the acceleration and the velocity signs. So now I'm going to go and find v of 1.5 on my calculator. So we're going to find v, there it is, of 1.5. And you got to write the decimal down. You can't just say it's negative. So I'm going to say it's -0.077. Then in class, I would say this is less than 0, so speed's increasing. If you said because they have the same sign, that's fine, but you needed to actually give them the decimal to get the points. Okay? And then letter C, my kids know this is my favorite. They give us the position of the particle. They give us an initial condition. They say x of 1 is -3, and they want us to find x of 4. Okay, my favorite, what I want equals what I'm given plus the integral between the two. That's me showing the setup for my calculations, and then we can just type this straight into our calculator and give them the answer. So I'm going to do it all in one line. I'm going to do -3 on my calculator. Math 9. What were my bounds again? 1 to 4. Okie dokie. And then what I put in Y1. And -2.803. That's probably 2 or 3 points depending on the rest of the scoring, okay? And then letter D, this was just the memorizing of the formula, which hopefully I emphasized enough in class over and over and over and over again. The total distance traveled, show the setup. So total distance traveled is the integral of absolute value of velocity. So that's what it means when they said show the setup. And then you were just going to type that in your calculator and give them the answer. So Math 9, 1 to 4. Make sure you take the absolute value, because if you didn't, you gave them the displacement. And as you can see, this particle did turn around. That's why they did this, to see if you understood the difference between displacement and total distance traveled, and you get 0.958. Okay, if I had to rank the AP questions, I would say this is the easiest out of the 6.